Hello, NeXT community. Never a dull moment at the black hole. Jan, I wanted to show you the NeXT cube. And I mounted that Zulu 2040 card to a bracket. And I'm leaving it loose so you can still pull it out easily if you want. And I am testing for all of you an extension cable. And it seems to be doing a pretty good job. I'm just wondering if it might come loose over time. But the thought is, I think I've got a little bit of space there, because this is a dual optical slot. And I've got the CD DVD in the lower slot, but I have the floppy in the upper, and there's just enough room, I think, to squeeze that cable through. But I am wondering, man, every time we get ready to ship, it's going to start doing this, a workspace manager error. And I've had this happen when there is a large GIF. For example, when I had my NeXT mail set up, I had an image and it turned out to be too large, just a picture of myself. Because we've got to remember that back in the day, you want to keep everything as small as possible because you're only dealing with 2 gigabyte. But I'm not sure why that is coming up now. And I'll have to see if this is one of the 300 megabit per second cards. Gosh, it's like every time I'm getting ready to ship. So it also might be a byproduct of the extension cable, which I thought would be a neat addition. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put the SD card directly back in to the Zulu card and see if it boots okay, if it's going to give me a workspace manager. And I guess I can try and log in again. We're really pushing the envelope on this tech. And it's great when it worked. I mean, it just worked 3 times. And then, of course, I start doing a demo. The last thing I want to do is ship the system out. The first thing that happens is this workspace manager error. And I'm just trying to figure out if there's, what is causing it. Is there too much software? We've also been tinkering with the driver because it looks like there's a way we might be able to speed it up to 10 megabits per second versus 5. And then these cards are so fast because you're going at 100 megabits per second. And I even have some 300 megabit per second cards. And see, the second time through, there's no workspace manager error. So I'm just, if any of you have been experiencing this, I guess the idea is don't panic, just log out and then try logging back in again. And as you can see, I'm emulating 6 hard drives. So yes, the NeXT has to think about it. And you've also got the CD DVD drive and floppy. So it's pretty cool that we could do all this because these hard drives over here weighed 7 pounds each, and they were 330 megabit. So you can imagine the stack to get to, let's see, it'd be 12 gigabyte. So yeah, it'd be like, you were in the gym bench pressing. So what would that be actually? Back of the envelope math. So you're looking at about 21 pounds times 6. Okay, so roughly what 126, something like that. So that's a pretty big load of hard drives just to try and bench press. But now we can do it all on a floppy disk, which is pretty amazing. So I guess I can launch a couple apps and see if I'm going to get a workspace manager error. Man, it is late again. I was gonna go ahead and set the time and everything else, but I think I need to go to bed. Get up. It's a brand new day tomorrow. Have some help coming in because I want to get this packed up and shipped. And I might let it run overnight. That's probably going to be a good call. And I'll have some things like a screensaver going. Jeez, man, this is such a cool idea. I just want it to work, right? I mean, one of the problems is if it corrupts the disk, then you have to take it all apart. But if we can have this coming out the front or the back, I think there might even be room, to take it over here. And if there's just enough space, I could put it through a filler slat. We could have Tristan or somebody make a little 3D, printed bracket to where we could hold it right there, which I think would be, people would like that. Because then it would give easy access. And I think out the front would be cool because then you don't have to go rooting around the back. At any rate, just sitting here innovating. And, so I've got the spinning disc. Well, let me try and just launch something. Okay, it did. It brought up the fatted calf, which is a great name. Let's see what kind of demo we can bring up from the fatted calf. Meanwhile, the video puts you all to sleep, doesn't it? At the speed of a moving turtle. I might have a future in that. I don't know about repairing computers anymore. I could be one of those dream talkers on YouTube. Yes, for the retro community. Yes, even a prankster. And now we're going to start Windows 3.1.1. I want to try that again. Let's see. Let's see if we can actually launch Windows on this thing. Yes, the satanic edition of NeXT. Oh, God. Soft PC. I mean, this would be a good way to torture the children, or, if they've been doing bad things. Okay, well, today you get to work exclusively on Windows 3.1.1. So let's see if this thing will actually let me create a Windows disk, okay? And, yes, we will replace. Oh, my goodness. There we go. Oh, the horror. It's turned into a veritable nightmare show. It's not even Halloween. I mean, these NeXT computers, by design, did not want to run Microsoft anything, which I think is pretty damn cool, if you ask me. And if anything is going to hang up and bomb a NeXT computer, it's going to be freaking Windows 3.1.1. I mean, for people that have used Windows, I mean, this was like, if we were cavemen walking around with like inventing the wheel with the chisel and a hammer, we'd be in better condition than actually running 3.1.1, because most of our lives were spent waiting for the computer to reboot after losing all of our stuff and having no frigging clue what just happened. Seriously, 10-page paper, gone, blue screen of death. And I remember, like Christian Sass actually had contacted me, and it was so funny because we created we might even be able to launch it today. Look out, people. Hopefully we'll get a blue screen and everybody can applaud. So this is a classic tale of how cool NeXT people are. So we were all tired of Windows. Oh my God, no! No, I mean, anybody have a crucifix and like a silver spike? But at any rate, um, he invented a shell that took the front off windows, and it was a next like shell. I forget what we called it. I think it was like black step, and I had my little logo in the upper corner. Oh, it's gonna launch Windows. Oh my God. And it was funny because it would come up with a blue screen, work whatever the cryptic error was, and you could say, do you need to reboot? We'd be like, no, because we're not running the Windows shell. I mean, the thing was bombing, and our front end actually worked. So I don't know what kind of crap they had going on the front end, but yeah, the open source guys came up with a way to actually tear the Windows off Windows and install our own, and it actually worked better. It was pretty neat. I should see if I can find that computer. Oh, we've got Solitaire. And I found out that this little application, Solitaire, was actually invented on a NeXT computer, right? And then the guy went over to Microsoft, and I think they bought it and ported it to Windows. So, hey, now I've got mission critical Solitaire for you guys. Um, and I don't even want to try and play because, I don't want the computer to freeze. But there you have it. You got Windows 3.1.1. And then if we want to go down here, let's see, what else can I click? This is called Executor. And Executor lets you run, basically you're booting up a Macintosh with inside of NeXT. So at the same time we are running Windows and Mac OS on top of NeXT. Pretty neat stuff, huh? And the blue scuzzy guys are like, very arrogant, I guess. They're not very friendly guys. I mean, I don't even know them from Adam. And, they're kind of mean. They are. And I like the Zulu guy, Alex Perez. I mean, we've always done business in the past. I like his products. And then going through all the detail of what these guys did to the open source fork, I'm not happy about it. I mean, to the point where, okay, they had the different coders, the history of them. And this guy, I won't name his name, but he's the head guy, would put his name at the top of the developer list and then list everybody else and put the original guys down at the bottom. So that's not how much they worked on it and so forth. And most of his work that he's taking credit for is just find and replace. So all he did was he took like the Zulu code, did a find and replace, and put Blue Scuzzy in. And, there's a lot of fanboys out there that think this guy's, the golden ticket. There's, I think, I want to say about 11 files where they actually did add a couple features, but most of it is just smoke and mirrors. And the kerfuffle is they took out all of the comments explaining what all the code does as kind of a barrier to entry for future guys that wanted to come in. That's the spirit of open source code, isn't it? You want people to come in and be able to improve or enhance it regardless of who they are. I mean, and share it with the global community. And this guy, it gives the appearance, and it's hearsay, that they were trying to go in, and this isn't the only code they've done this to. There's a couple other applications, apparently, where they were trying to monetize it. So they basically make it very difficult to update unless you're on the know. And the reason they make it so difficult is because they've removed all the comments or the directions. And then, so that's what I don't like. And the fact that I posted it on this, my YouTube channel with, minimal views. uh, I can see why it's more like, the torture channel. Yes. I mean, look at how long it's taken, Executor to come up. But this is kind of the speed that we were moving along at back in the day. I mean, this was top of the line. You got to remember 1988. And, we were paying $6 a minute on top of this to access like CompuServe and BBS. So just to, do basic stuff was very painful and slow. And then, at one point, the dial-up modems, you had to listen to those things. And they were going at like 14.4 baud, and we were like, oh man, that's huge. Then it went to 28.8, and then 56. And then I was yelling at people, hey, if you guys could get ISDN or cable, you're saving a phone line charge every month, and it's like 100 times faster. And people were, convinced because they'd get sent these AOL discs in the mail. And so they got roped into that a little bit. This is the very foundations. And then, people started discovering the World Wide Web, which also was invented on a NeXT computer. And I'm hoping here at some point we're going to get Executor to pop up. It's usually going to happen on cue. And it's probably because I've got Windows running in the background. And Windows seems to mess with everything no matter what version it is. So just for the heck of it, let's see if I can just quit Soft PC, if it'll let me do that. And we're going to go ahead and do that. And then watch Executor will come right up. So I don't know what, the deal is. There's certain areas in code and history of computers that you got to wonder what's going on, and I think Microsoft was well known for creating barriers to entry and taking out competition whenever they could. And that's why they got in a little bit of trouble, bundling their web browser in with the, with the software. It's like a tying arrangement. You're not supposed to do that. And so at any rate, are we going to ever get Executor? Or am I missing something? Do I actually have to start Executor? Is this just the panel? I mean, I could go ahead. Let me go back here, and then I'm going to go to Tools, and we can do Processes. Because, we're 18 minutes in, man. At some point, just launch the thing. And this is what keeps me up at night. And since it is late at night, I might as well, I can multitask here while we're waiting for the turtles on the treadmill. But I can understand, too, because, this little computer has to think, okay, so now I'm going to be a Macintosh. And then once it's launched, everything works fine. But it's like, I got to be a Macintosh and a NeXT at the same time. And if you think about that, in terms of when it was happening, it's just brilliant. And the amount of space that it took, all of this is being done on basically 2 gig or less disks. And now we go, if we have that much RAM, we're like, that isn't anything for RAM, man. We got to have, tons of RAM. So let's take this up to 2024. And we'll go back to April. It'll probably wind up resetting it. I have, let's see, this is going to Canada. So I'm going to go ahead and move this forward. And, let's see, the date is, what is today? Oh, it just jumped back to 2017. So I got to go here. There's a certain order you have to do this. And then to what is today? The 26th? So we'll set it. So that should be my time now. Executor, magnificent. And this might be going back to that workspace manager error. What's it saying down here? Okay, it's still showing it's running. Sometimes I just need to be more patient. And as I say, because I've got all these different disks set up, that's probably causing some of it, including the fatted calf launched. So maybe if I take it back here and take it back to the first disk partition, that might kick some things in gear. Let me go here. I'm still learning my way around, even though I've sold hundreds of these cards, we're just trying to see what they can do and can't do. But I'm really impressed with what they can. And I'm going to have some of the new Zulu Pico cards coming in. So I'm going to be the first vendor in the world to actually have, I think, 10 of those for the NeXT community. And we're going to have a custom initialization file. And it definitely runs a little faster than this 2040, in my opinion. And we'll eventually bench them too, to see. And what I can do here as well is put in a SCSI hard drive, maybe as a new, as the main boot drive, or just to do a 2 gig disk where that's going to run faster, a 2 gig image, and then just have this as a backup image if he wants to have a bunch of apps to tinker with. I mean, there's so many different ways. And with this SD card, you can just pop it out and then take it over to an SD card reader on a Mac, and it'll pull the HDA images off so you can create a folder over there to make a backup, and then just drag and drop them into a folder. And so you can pick which ones you want. So you can make custom drive images. One of the ways I do it is have the little application Previous, which is a 68K homebrew next step emulator that runs on modern hardware. And I can create images in Previous, including downloading all the software, mounting ISOs, copying, making master ISOs, and then dropping those onto SD cards and bringing it over to original NeXT hardware like this. And of course, the one app that I want to choose to demo is just spinning away. So let's try something. If I like this feature. If something's going like this, I could just do kill, right? So we're going to kill the executor. I mean, this is getting on to some S&M computing. And then let's see what happens if I just relaunch it and see if that's all it was. I mean, there's something frozen, and I bet it'll just pop right up. Come on, man. Where are you? Because normally it's not this crazily slow. And I wouldn't... Does this have a little light? So what I'll probably do, I think we could run an LED light too. There's one on the card that flashes, but it'd be nice just to know if the little SD card's being accessed, because you can kind of tell if it's launching things. And I believe it is, but, do we have... I don't want to spend all night here waiting for an app to launch. In fact, let's go ahead and kill it again. And we'll do this because I know this other app will work. So we're going to kill it again. And we're going to just say, okay, NeXT computer, you didn't like Executor for whatever reason. We're going to do Daydream. And we're Daydream believers. So Daydream is just going to let me boot this thing up as a Mac. I should just be able to click go. And the machine will reboot, sure. And this should... Simon Schubig the developer of this application is probably one of the world's most talented developers. And this gives you a demonstration of how close NeXT hardware was to Macintosh hardware at the time, only this was like Mac hardware on steroids. So it'd be equivalent to a high-end Quadra. And you'll see it come up dark matter, and then dark matter is going to actually boot it up as a Mac. And I mean, and the executors should be working this fast, and I'm not sure what's going on there. So we'll click OK, and then we should get an operating system. And on these new cards I have too, they've got the Pico Wi-Fi card. So it would be interesting to see if I could set up the Wi-Fi part of it, because there's a driver on Mac OS that makes it look like there's a SCSI hard drive, right? And then they've converted that to Wi-Fi going through the Pico card. So that would be kind of fun to see if that driver will actually work on a NeXT Cube when it is in Mac OS, System 7, and whether it will be transparent, because that would be kind of fun to see if we could do file sharing. I've got a device coming in tomorrow that is an Ethernet bridge, wireless. And so we're going to try and configure it so we can do Wi-Fi from one of the RJ45 or BNC connectors to my home network. So that's in the works. And let's see, I think it's Command Star to get out of this and reboot. I'm going to set this down here just for a second. Command, because I got to get on the keyboard. You're probably not going to be. Good God. Alternate star. Alternate. Well, wouldn't be a live demo unless everything goes haywire. All right, I'm signing off. I've tortured y'all enough. So let's see if we can just shut this down. So how about shutdown? Can we do that? I swear it's Command Star to reboot it, but I don't have my little Daydream commands memorized right now. And of course this probably won't, well, it is doing something. I don't know why. Maybe this extension cable causes it to run slower. This is the first time I've tried it, and I wanted to see if it would work. It seems to work somewhat, but I don't know. Maybe we'll have to test and see if we're getting a performance hit. And then, as I say, we've got the custom initialization driver that Jill's has done for me, some tinkering. And I did load it onto one of these discs, but it was coming up bad volume label. So I think I might need to actually flash the Zulu card. I'm just talking away here now in order to get that to work. But at any rate, here's another 30-minute video of rambling. And I hope that you all have fallen asleep, because if you're up this late, you need to get some sleep. And that's signing off. Where's my cat? Bella, where are you? Oh, here she is. Yeah, Bella. Yeah, you want to go to bed? Okay, we're going to bed. Good night, everybody.